Welcome back to the YouTube. Today, what I'm going to walk you through is the setup costs of an online coaching business, okay? There's some hidden things in here that people think, oh, it's just as easy as just cracking open a laptop and getting going, okay? And that's not quite the case. So I want to walk you through to start up, okay, what we're going to be looking at for starting an online coaching business. I would like to start this by saying it's still a fuck of a lot cheaper than a lot of other businesses, okay? With the potential upside within even the first 6 months being something like £5,000 to £7,000 a month, it can make a massive, massive difference to your lifestyle. But I think it should be clear what this kind of stuff actually takes in order to get it off the ground, all right? So if that's something that you're interested in, there's going to be loads more videos that you do. You've probably been through quite a lot of them. If you haven't, make sure that you go back through all of our videos and make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notifications so you get notified when we do more videos, and I'll jump right in. So the first thing you're going to need is some kind of technology outlay. Now, I would recommend if you want to start online coaching, you invest in two major pieces of technology, okay? You get a good laptop and a good phone. Now, that's probably going to run you about $2,000 to start with. Your laptop's probably cost you about $1,000 and your phone's probably going to cost you about $1,000. The second thing I would look at is like basically just the information setup. Okay, so you're going to want realistically high-speed internet, realistically the best you can get. You're also going to want to get the unlimited data on your phone. Okay, so again, you're probably going to be looking at, realistically, if you bought the phone cash for $1,000 and you bought the laptop cash for $1,000, you're probably going to be looking at maybe £50 to £60 a month for your phone line and your internet bundled together. And that should give you all the internet speed that you need. So there we're looking at a $2,000 outlay. You're probably going to be looking at about 60 quid a month, all right, to get started. The next thing you're probably going to need is some minor bits of software, okay? You're probably going to need maybe £50 worth of software. You're going to be looking at some kind of calendar. Calendly is a calendar. You're going to be looking at something like Zoom, which will allow you to do video conferencing with your clients. And you're probably going to be looking at some kind of coaching software. Now, much of the coaching software starts out reasonable and then charges per client. So you won't need to do any more, okay, until you start actually making some money. But you're probably going to be looking at about another 50 quid full of subscriptions. So you're probably looking at like 100-ish pounds a month on an ongoing basis, plus obviously the initial $2,000 outlay for the business. That's going to give you basically the basics that you need. So £2,000 in to start, and then budget around £100 a month in order to kind of get things moving. The next thing I recommend that you get is some kind of coaching to do this, okay? If you are really sure that you want to do the online coaching, okay, and it's something that you definitely want to progress with, I would always recommend getting help. I didn't get help and tried to do it myself lots and lots of times. And I think from hearing about my first successful online coach, there was someone that I worked with that was doing like 100 clients at £100 a month and was making 10 grand. And I was like, oh my God, that's ridiculous. I definitely need to get into that. From that point until I actually paid for help was probably about a year and a half. Okay. And in that total year and a half, I probably made about 14 grand from coaching, okay? £14,000. I was teaching at the time, but from coaching, probably earned about 14 grand over that period. So £1,000 a month, okay? When I first launched my online coaching program after getting help, I made £8,000 in the first month, okay? A £7,000 increase. If I'd have done that a year and a half before, that would have been £7,000 each month for 18 months. So yeah, I did very well in the end, but me waiting a year and a half probably cost me about 100 grand, if not more, just in maths off the top of my head. All right. So I would always recommend getting help. Now, for me, if you're looking to get help, I would pick a business program that you know gets results, but I would pick a business program that isn't a massive ongoing recurring expense, because what I find that does with coaches is it puts them in a bit of a situation, okay, where they are struggling. So I think anything more than £1,000 a month when you're an online coach would be too much, okay, and is not an investment that you should be looking at making. However, things under that, you kind of get what you pay for. So you could go for coaching that's like £300, £400 a month, but generally those people are going to be beginner business coaches. They're going to be people without a lot of credibility, probably not a lot of time to invest in you, and they probably don't have the kind of system set up for support. Realistically, if I was going to be like realistic, you'd probably want an initial investment in some sort of business coaching of between £3,000 and £5,000. Okay. After an investment of £3,000 or £5,000, that should give you more than enough time within a program to be in profit from the program and actually increasing your revenue. Okay. Most programs would guarantee you to be in profit by that time. If not, I would probably recommend that you pick a different program because it won't work fast enough for you to get out of that hole. So all in all, you're probably looking at top end £7,000 investment in order to get things off the ground, get the technology you need and get the coaching that you need to make it work. And then probably about £100 a month thereafter. That should allow you to get to, as long as you do the work, probably about 15 hours a week minimum to get started. If you've got 15 hours a week, that initial investment, and you're willing to pay £100 a month for all the subscriptions and stuff like that, that would put you in a position there you should be earning around £5,000 to £7,000 a month, okay? As long as you package your program correctly. If you followed all the advice in this video, in these videos that we've done, you'd probably be the same anyway, but that's what I would recommend. Now, if you look at that compared to any other business that would generate between £5,000 and £7,000 a month of profit in year one, that initial investment is tiny, okay? Compared to the setup costs of any other business, okay? Even businesses that require certifications, okay? If I said to you, you need to do a £7,000 certification to be an online coach, and within 6 months, your predicted earnings would be £5,000 to £7,000 a month, I would say that's a brilliant investment. That's an incredible investment. And lots of people spend £9,000 on degrees for 3 years with the promise of a £30,000 job a year afterwards. Okay. So think about it in those terms. It's actually a very, very, very reasonable investment for the scalability that you've got. The thing I would ask yourself then is, do I back myself to make a £7,000 investment in myself? Am I serious enough about this? Okay. If it's a bit of a joke, if you're just trying it as a thing on the side, if you're not quite sure, probably would lay off paying the £7,000. If you know that you want to add either online to your current business or you want to launch an online business from scratch, I would pay that every single day. So there you go. It's all laid out on the table. That's the investment that you realistically will have to make in order to be a profitable business. Can people do it without making that investment? Yes, they can. More often than not, people fail because they don't get the help that they need. So, if you want to try and be the exception to the rule, that's great. I would rather go for something that's proven and tried and tested. And that is what you're going to have to be prepared for if you want a successful business.